Hey y'all, I hope you all are having a fabulous day today, and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another week's worth of What's for Dinners. I like to share these every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. to give y'all some meal ideas to cook at home for your family as well. My dinners are always super easy, simple, and for sure budget friendly, so if you're interested in that, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button before you leave. But let's get on into this week's What's for Dinner video, y'all.
But I know you see me too. Everybody's singing, oh, everybody's singing, oh. I don't know what it is about you. It must be in.
Alright y'all, so to kick off this week's What's for Dinner video, we're going to start by making some creamy baked spaghetti. So to start with, of course, you're going to brown up your ground beef. I'm going to add in some like Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some minced onion into mine. But of course, you can add whatever kind of seasonings you like into yours.
And it's getting dark in this room. Tell me what you wanna do. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love, baby, let me love you.
Y'all, so once I got my ground beef all browned up, I'm going to add in my spaghetti sauce, and this time I'm going to use this Hunt's traditional spaghetti sauce. I usually get like the Great Value jarred kind at Walmart, and here at my Walmart it's like 88 cents, but I wanted to go with something a little bit different, try something different, and this was really good, y'all. I think my favorite part was that it's real tomatoey and thick, and I really like that in my sauces. The one that you get from Walmart in the Great Value brand is usually a little bit more watery than this kind, so I think I'll stick with this kind from now on. It's my new favorite. Also, I did have my noodles boiling while I was browning my ground beef. I just forgot to mention that earlier. So once I got my noodles done, I just strained the water off them, and then I'm just pouring them over into my baking dish. I'm going to take a block of cream cheese. I had used a little bit and some pepper, so we're not going to tell anybody, but it was still almost a whole block of cream cheese, and I'm just going to kind of break that up in my hot noodles so that that will help it melt down.
You think you got the best of me, but just because I'm giving you my love for free, are things not for real?
Okay, so here's how it should look once your cream cheese has melted all down into your noodles, and then you're just going to kind of spread your noodles out evenly in the bottom of your baking pan, because you will be topping with your spaghetti sauce and ground beef mixture, so it will be a layer of spaghetti noodles and then your spaghetti sauce and ground beef mixture, and then you're going to top with some mozzarella cheese and some Parmesan cheese. And I do go really heavy-handed with the cheese. Of course, you don't have to add as much as I do, but we really love for ours to be cheesy, so I do add a generous amount of mozzarella cheese and Parmesan cheese. But once you get your cheese added, you'll just pop it in the oven on 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes. Basically, you just want to melt your cheese down because everything else is cooked thoroughly. Also, of course, you can serve this with a side salad or some breadsticks or some garlic toast, but on this night, we just had straight up baked spaghetti because I was just trying to get kids fed and in baths and in bed. And then here's how mine looked once they come out of the oven and I plated it up and everything. It was good and still really good and saucy, and that's one of the main things that's important to me. I don't want it to get dry while it's baking. With that sauce, it stayed extra saucy, so I really love that sauce with this baked spaghetti recipe, and it was super cheesy, just the way we like it. Then on the next night, I made some chicken and rice, super easy, simple. It was kind of like a rainy day on this day, so I felt like soup would be the perfect dinner to go with that. So all I did was start by boiling my chicken, and I've just got like 3 or 4 like leg quarters, leg and thighs, and I just boiled those until the chicken were done. I did season up my broth really well with, you know, whatever kind of seasons that you like, but I seasoned mine with garlic powder, onion powder, and probably like some Chickalika Bam Bam or something like that. But you do want to generously season your chicken while it's in the broth, because that's where all your flavor is going to come in. Once my chicken was done, I just removed it from the broth, and then I added in my rice and let my rice cook while I was shredding up my chicken. Then I added my shredded chicken back into the pan with my rice and the broth and everything, and I just give it a good old mix, make sure everything gets mixed around really well, and then I just kind of let this simmer for about 10-15 minutes on low, of course, and then it will be done. You could also add in a can of cream of chicken, but on this night I didn't have any, and it's still delicious without it, but the cream of chicken does just give it a little bit more flavor, of course. Right before I get ready to serve up my chicken and rice, I like to sprinkle on a generous amount of black pepper. It just gives it a little bit of a spice, not too much, but just a little tiny kick at the end. Of course, I always tell y'all that y'all do not have to do everything that I do. It's your kitchen. Make the food how you like it. Just because we like a lot of black pepper on our chicken and rice doesn't mean that you will. So, of course, you don't have to add that if you don't want to. For the next night, I was basically just digging through the freezer trying to find stuff that I needed to cook to get it out of the way, just to make room in the freezer. And I found these catfish skinless fillets, and I needed to cook those before they went bad because they were on the verge of expiring. And I also had a bag of french fries, and I had my favorite Jim Dandy quick 5-minute grits, and I also found this bag of corn nuggets. So I said we're going to have a catfish dinner on this night. So I did the catfish basically like I would do fresh catfish if my husband had went and caught catfish. So I just put them on my cutting board and I seasoned them up with some Old Bay seasoning. I used some Martha White self-rising cornmeal mix to coat my fish with. So make sure you get it good and generously coated. You want to coat it on both sides, and then I'm just going to drop it in a pan of hot grease and let it get good and fried up. So I cooked them on about 2-3 minutes on one side, and then I flipped them and did the same thing on the other side. Altogether, it took about 8 to 10 minutes to fry 3 pieces of fish. So you definitely want to stand right there with them if you try to cook this dinner. I did buy the fish at Walmart. You can get it in the frozen section, like where they have the shrimp and all that good old stuff. But these were really good. They do not taste like fresh catfish, and y'all know we are used to eating fresh catfish because my husband is always going fishing and we always have fish in our freezer. They were really good. If you've never had fresh catfish, these will be really good, but we're kind of spoiled and we eat fresh catfish all the time. So it was a little bit of a unique flavor. You can tell they're like farm pond raised. They weren't fresh, but they were still really good, and I would still highly recommend this dinner. So while I was frying my fish, I also had my grits cooking on another burner. It was the quick 5-minute grits like I mentioned before. Once they were done, I just plated them up, put a little cube of butter on top. I also fried my French fries after I got through frying my fish, as well as my corn nuggets, but I didn't feel like sharing all that frying with y'all. But here was our plate once everything was done. It was really good, but like I said, we were used to fresh catfish, so it was a unique twist on farm-raised catfish. But anyway, moving into the next dinner, and on this night I made stuffed bell peppers, and this was actually in a separate video that I'll have linked down below. It went up this past Wednesday, and it was 3 ground beef dinners under $20. So this was really good. So all I did was kind of like steam my peppers in my pot with some water first, and then I also browned up some ground beef, and I made some rice-a-roni, mixed that together, dumped that into my bell peppers, topped them with some cheese, popped them in the oven. But of course, if you want to know the full recipe of how I made this, go click the link and check out the other video. I don't want to bore my original subscribers who have already watched this video and have already watched me cook it. So if you're interested in this, definitely go check out that link and check out that video, because those bell peppers were definitely delicious. I also made a homemade sloppy joe recipe in that ground beef, 3 ground beef dinners under $20 video. Like I said, if you want to go check it out, I have it linked down below. I also made a tater tot casserole. If you're new here, then you may not know that tater tot casserole is my husband's absolute favorite dinner. So any chance I get to make a tater tot casserole, I'm going to be making it because it's his absolute favorite. On the next night, we had these carne picada tacos, tortillas. I don't really know what you call them, y'all. Neither does my husband. But he got the recipe from his friend, his work friend, his fishing buddy. So thank you, Ismail, for this recipe. We really loved it. But I will have to say that I did not really like the corn tortillas. They were not for me. I prefer the flour ones. But now Will, he loves the corn tortillas. So here's all the ingredients that you'll need to make this dinner with. To start with, we're just going to start up by cooking our carne picada meat in our skillet with some olive oil and some garlic butter. Oh yes, by the way, he does season up the meat before he adds it into the skillet, and he's just seasoning it with some Lowry seasoning salt, some garlic salt, and a little bit of tahini seasoning. And then after he got through seasoning up the meat, like I said before, he throws it in the skillet with some olive oil and some garlic butter. And he also sprinkles on a packet of taco seasoning. And then he just kind of lets that cook on low medium heat. We do add our lid to it so that it can kind of simmer. And this is how it'll look once it's almost cooked down. You want to cook it until all the liquid has cooked out. And then here he is heating up one of his corn tortillas. And then he's going to show y'all how he put together his little taco. So he had a whole spread set up. He's got some limes. He's got some jalapenos. He's got some salsa verde. He's got some chives, he's got some cilantro, and he's got the Mexican crumbling cheese. He's also got a little bit of Valentina. I don't think he actually puts that on his, but I do put that on mine. So he's topped with some of the carne picada first, and then he added some cilantro. Then he's adding the Mexican crumbling cheese, and then I think he'll add a jalapeno and some chives, and then he'll also squirt on a little bit of the juice of the lime. Y'all, his will look so pretty once he gets through adding everything to it. It just looks picture perfect to me. Like I said, he has the corn tortillas and I had the flour tortillas. Mine was really good. I highly recommend this dinner, y'all, especially with that Mexican crumbling cheese. It was so delicious. That's all I got for y'all this week. I hope y'all enjoyed this week's What's for Dinner. If you did, as always, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thank y'all so much for being here today, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.